All right, I know I left you off on a cliffhanger because we were only able to get through half of chapter 3. But I'm going to finish it now so that you can end the week knowing how the chapter ended. So remember that they went to a gas station with their old Model T Ford, and he couldn't figure out where the gas tank was. But the guy, his Grandpa Smedry, pulled up and said, "I'd like a Phillip, please." Like the name Phillip, not fill up, like you would normally say at a gas station. Because in other states, like in Oregon, you're not allowed to pump your own gas. Isn't that funny? When you go to a gas station in Oregon, they have people out there who pump your gas for you because it's illegal to pump your own gas. So you would say, "I would like you to fill up, please," because you want your whole tank filled. So that's something that's a little bit more normal in other states. In Washington, we do it ourselves. But we don't normally say Phillip, like the name. That's a little funky. And then he was holding it to the car like he was putting gas in it, but there was no place to put it. So we'll see what happens. "Come, Alcatraz," Grandpa Smedry said, walking up to the gas station's store. "There isn't time." Finally, I just shook my head and climbed out the car. Grandpa Smedry went inside, the screen door slamming behind him. I walked up, pulled open the screen door, threw the door handle over my shoulder as it broke off, then stepped inside after Grandpa Smedry. So this kind of stuff that happens to him is not normal. He doesn't try to break things, even though he says he's a horrible person. He's not. They just happen. Like normally when we open a door, the handle doesn't just break off in our hands. That's not normal. So he has a superpower that he didn't know was great. Another attendant, also with straw in his mouth, and a large hat on his head, stood leaning against the counter. The small store consisted of a single stand of snacks and a wall-sized cooler. The cooler was stocked completely with cans of motor oil, though a sign said, "Enjoy a cool, refreshing drink." Probably shouldn't drink motor oil. Just a life lesson for you. Should you drink motor oil? Mm-mm. Are you a motor that needs to be oiled? Mm-mm. No. "Okay," I said. "Where exactly are you people finding straw to chew on in the middle of the city? It can't be all that easy to get." "Quickly now, quickly!" Grandpa Smedry gestured frantically from the back of the store, glancing to either side. He said in a louder voice, "I think I'll have a cool, refreshing drink." Then he pulled open the cooler door. I froze in place. Now, it's very important to me that you understand that I am not stupid. It's perfectly all right if you end this book convinced that I'm not the hero that some reports claim me to be. However, I'd rather not everyone I meet presume me to be slow-witted. If that were the case, half of them would likely try to sell me insurance. The truth is, however, that even clever people can be taken by surprise so soundly that they are at a loss for words, or at least a loss for words that make sense. "Gack!" I said. "You see, now, before you judge me, place yourself in my position. Let's say that you had watched a crazy old man open up a cooler full of oil cans. You would have undoubtedly expected to see, well, a cooler full of oil cans on the other side. You would not expect to see a room with a large hearth at the center, blazing with a cheery reddish-orange fire. You would not expect to see two men in full armor standing guard on either side of the door. Indeed, you would not expect to see a room instead of a cooler full of oil cans at all. Perhaps you would have said, 'Gack,' too. 'Gack,' I repeated. "Would you stop that, boy?" Grandpa Smedry said. "There are absolutely no gacks here. Why do you think we keep so much straw around? Now, come on." He stepped through the doorway into the room beyond. I approached slowly, then glanced at the other side of the open glass door and saw oil cans cooling in their wall racks. I turned, looking through the doorway. It seemed as if I could see much more than I should have been able to. The two knights standing on either side of such a small doorway should have left no room to walk through, yet Grandpa Smedry had passed easily. I reached out, rapping lightly on one of the knights' breastplates. "Please don't do that," a voice said from behind the faceplate. "Oh," I said, "sorry." Still frowning to myself, I stepped into the room. It was a large chamber, far larger, I decided, than could have possibly fit in the store. I could now see a rug set with throne-like chairs arranged to face a hearth in a homey manner. If your home is a medieval castle, anyway. To my left, there was a long, broad table also set with chairs. Sing! Grandpa Smedry yelled, his voice echoing down a hallway to the right. Sing! If he breaks into song, I think I might have to strangle myself, I thought, cringing. Lord Smedry? A voice called from down the hall, and a huge figure rushed into sight. If you've never seen a large Mokayan man in sunglasses, a tunic, and tights before... Okay, I'm going to assume that you've never seen a large Mokayan man in sunglasses, a tunic, and tights. I certainly hadn't. The man, apparently named Singh, was a good 6.5 feet tall and had dark hair and dark skin. He looked like he could be from Hawaii or maybe Samoa or Tonga. He had the mass and girth of a linebacker and would have fit right in on the football field. So think of Maui from Moana, right? He's kind of Hawaiian, Samoan, like Pacific Islander, big guy. Or at least he would have fit right in if he'd been wearing a football uniform rather than a tunic, a type of garment that I still think looks silly. Bastille has pictures of me wearing one. If you ask her, she'll probably show them to you gleefully. Of course, if you do that, I'll probably have to hunt you down and kill you, or dress you in a tunic and take pictures of you. I'm still not sure which is worse. Sing, Grandpa Smedry said. We need to do a full library infiltration now. A library infiltration, Singh said excitedly. Yes, Grandpa Smedry said hurriedly. Go get your cousin, and both of you get into your disguises. I need to gather my lenses. Singh rushed back the way he had come. So there's lenses again. Grandpa Smedry walked over to the wall on the other side of the hearth, not sure what else to do. I followed, watching as Grandpa Smedry knelt beside what appeared to be a large box made entirely of black glass. Grandpa Smedry put his hand on it and closed his eyes, and the front of the box suddenly shattered. I'm reading, but...
I want to watch Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig.
Sure. I jumped back, but Grandpa Smedry ignored the broken shards of black glass. He reached into the chest and pulled out a tray wrapped in red velvet. He set this on top of the box, unwrapping the cloth and revealing a small book and about a dozen pairs of spectacles, each with a slightly different tint of glass. Grandpa Smedry pulled open the front of his tuxedo jacket, then began to slip the spectacles into little pouches sewn into the lining of the garment. They hung like the watches on the inside of an illegal street peddler's coat. Something very strange is going on, isn't it? I finally asked. So the inside of an illegal street peddler's coat is like the people that you see in cartoons and stuff where they open their jacket and they have a whole bunch of stolen stuff hanging, right? That's kind of what he's talking about. Yes, lad, Grandpa Smedry said, still arranging the spectacles. We're really going to sneak into a library? Grandpa Smedry nodded. Only it's not really a library, but someplace more dangerous. Oh, it's really a library, Grandpa Smedry said. What you haven't realized before is that all libraries are far more dangerous than you've always assumed. And we're going to break into this one, I repeated, a place filled with people who want to kill me? Most likely, Grandpa Smedry said. So here's the picture of Alcatraz in his tunic. Apparently he's embarrassed to be in a medieval tunic. It says, Compliments of Bastille. That's who he mentioned before. But what else can we do? We either infiltrate or we let them make those sands into lenses. This isn't a joke, I began to realize. This man isn't actually crazy, or at least the craziness includes much more than just him. I stood there for a moment, feeling overwhelmed, thinking about what I had seen. Well, all right then, I finally said. Now you Hushlanders may think I took all of these strange experiences quite well. After all, it isn't every day that you get threatened with a gun. Then discover a medieval dining room hiding inside the beverage cooler at a local gas station. Sorry, I need to pause to get something ready for Maggie so she can do her next thing. Here, sis. However, maybe if you'd grown up with the magical ability to break almost anything you touched, then you would have been just as quick to accept unusual circumstances. So he's thinking, well, I'm kind of weird and unusual and not like anyone else I've ever met, so maybe there is more to this world than I really know. Maybe this weird, unusual circumstance is something that I need to deal with. Here, lad, Grandpa Smedry said, standing and picking up the final pair of spectacles. They were reddish tinted, like the pair Grandpa Smedry was currently wearing. These are yours. I've been saving them for you. I paused. I don't need glasses. You're an oculator, lad, Grandpa Smedry said. You'll always need glasses. Can't I wear sunglasses like Singh? Grandpa Smedry chuckled. You don't need warrior's lenses. You can access abilities far more potent. Here, take these. They are Oculator's lenses. What are Oculators? I asked. We are, my boy. Put them on. I frowned, but took the glasses. I put them on, then glanced around. Nothing looks different, I said, feeling disappointed. The room doesn't even look redder. Of course not, Grandpa Smedry said. The tints come from the sands they're made of and help us keep the lenses straight. They're not intended to make things look different. I just thought the glasses would do something. They do, Grandpa Smedry said. They show you things that you need to see. It's merely subtle, lad. Wear them for a while. Let your eyes get used to them. All right. I glanced over as Grandpa Smedry knelt to put the tray back inside the broken box. What's that book? Grandpa Smedry looked up. This? He picked up the small book, handing it to me. I opened to the first page. It was filled with scribbles, as if made by a child. The forgotten language, Grandpa Smedry said. We've been trying to decipher it for centuries. Your father worked on that book for a while, before you were born. He thought its secrets might lead him to the sands of Rashid. This isn't a language, I said. It's just a bunch of scribbles. Well, any language you don't understand would look like scribbles, lad. I flipped through the pages of the book. It was filled with completely random circles, zigzags, loop-de-loops, and the like. There were no patterns. Some of the pages only had a couple marks on them. Others were so black with ink that they looked like a child's rendition of a tornado. No, I said. No, I don't think so. A language has to make patterns. There's nothing like that in here. That's the big secret, lad, Grandpa Smedry said, taking back the book. Why do you think nobody, despite centuries of trying, has managed to break the code? The Incarna people, the ones who wrote in this language, held vast secrets. Unfortunately, nobody can read their records, and the Incarna disappeared many centuries ago. I wrinkled my brow with the strange comments. Grandpa Smedry stood up, stepping away from the glass box, and suddenly the shattered front of the box melted and reformed its glassy surface. That's kind of strange. I stepped back in shock. Then I reached up, suspiciously pulling off my glasses. Yet the box still sat pristine, as if it hadn't been broken in the first place. Restoring glass, Grandpa Smedry said, nodding toward the box. Only an oculator can break it. Once he moves too far away, however, it will reform from its previous shape. Makes for wonderful safes. It's even stronger than builder's glass, if used right. I slipped my lenses back on. Tell me, lad, Grandpa Smedry said, laying a hand on my shoulder, why did you burn down your foster parents' kitchen? I started. That wasn't the question I'd been expecting. How did you know about that? Why, I'm an oculator, of course. I just frowned. So why, he asked, why burn it down? It was an accident, I replied. Was it? I looked away. Of course it was an accident, I thought, feeling a bit of shame. Why would I do something like that on purpose? Grandpa Smedry was studying me. You have a talent for breaking things, he said. Or so you have said. Yet lighting fire to a set of drapes and ruining a kitchen with smoke doesn't seem like a use of that talent, particularly if you let the fire burn for a while before putting it out. That's not breaking. That seems more like destroying. I don't destroy, I said quietly. Why then? Grandpa Smedry said. I shrugged. What was he implying? Did he think I liked messing things up all the time? Did he think I liked being forced to move every few months? It seemed that every time I came to love someone, they decided that my talent was just too much to handle. I felt a stab of loneliness, but shoved it down. So with these questions, what do you think that he is feeling right now? Do you think maybe he's thinking, great, another person who I was just getting to like is probably going to ditch me soon because of my talent? Right? When you've gone through 27 foster homes, it's probably not, it's probably the way his mind automatically goes, right? He thinks, okay, I'm going to have to find another guardian yet again because of how I am. I felt a stab of loneliness, but shoved it down. Ah, Grandpa Smedry said, you won't answer, I see, but I can still wonder, can't I? Why would a boy do such damage to the homes of such kind people? It seems like a perversion of his talent. Yes, indeed. I said nothing. Grandpa Smedry just smiled at me, then straightened his bow tie and checked his wristwatch. Garbled greens, we're late. Sing, Quentin. Sing, Quentin. I forgot Sing is a person. We're ready, Uncle, a voice called from down the hallway. Ah, good, Grandpa Smedry said. Come, my boy, let me introduce you to your cousins. All right, there's another one. And if you did not figure it out from yesterday, I made a mistake about the alliterations. I thought they were going in alphabetical order. They are not. I went back and checked. So, after adding garbled greens, let's see. We have rumbling Rons, blistering brooks, hyperventilating hobs, drastic drakes, and garbled greens. So, if you want to keep a list of alliterations with me, you are welcome to. It's kind of fun. Then maybe we can start saying them. Maybe in the fall when I see you guys again, or in our video, something will excite us and we can go, garbled greens! Okay, here is chapter 4, and here are the glasses. Remember, what did he say? Sunglasses are for. Something that he is not. So I wonder if that means we're going to find out more about Singh and how he is a warrior. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter. It's kind of a funny book. I like how it's written from the main character's perspective and all of his silly thoughts. I like it. Anyway, I will see you guys next week.